Mic check.
Mic check.
that's a good check. You need to help me put some. Oh, but you don't come. No,
My name is Al Perkins, Chair of the Board of Supervisors for the University of Louisiana System, and I would like to welcome you to the first meeting of this search committee, which will assist the Board of Supervisors in finding the next president for Nicholls State University. Before we begin today's proceeding, I would like to mention that if any member of the public wishes to comment, he or she must complete a public comment card and turn the card into a ULS system staff member seated at the front on my far right, your far left side. Comment cards are located on the table as you enter into the room. As well as a courtesy, please turn off your cell phones or other electronic devices. It's time to call roll. Ms. Calais, would you please call the roll for us?
Yes. Dr. Henderson?
Here.
Mr. Carter? Mr. Martin?
Here.
Mr. Murphy?
Here.
Mr. Perkins?
Here.
Ms. Pierre? Here. Mr. Rice?
Here.
Mr. Romero?
Here.
Mr. Seville? Dr. Whitney?
Here.
Mr. Shawest?
Here.
Bishop Bob?
Here.
Dr. Pecoraro? Here. Mr. Revere?
Here.
Ms. Rome? Here. Mr. Rouse? Here. Mr. Thibodeau? We have a quorum.
Thank you, Ms. Calais. Before we go any further, I wanted to ask if we can have a small moment of prayer before we go any further. Bishop, I would like to call and see you lead us in prayer, please.
Almighty God, in your goodness, bestow your wisdom down upon us. Bless administration, faculty, and students. Grace and your peace, pour forth your wisdom upon our search for a new president. Keep us ever mindful that it is our responsibility to see that minds are formed and that your people learn the many ways that you give them to academics. Almighty God, in you we place our hope and our trust, confident that you will not disappoint us. For we make this our prayer now.
Amen. Thank you, Bishop Bob. As we all know, Dr. Bruce Murphy has announced that he will be leaving in December after serving as the 5th president of Nicholls State University. As chair of the Board of Supervisors for the University of Louisiana System, one of my responsibilities is to appoint a search committee to help find his successor. Our board rule defines a framework for appointing members to our search committees, and using that 9 voting and 8 non-voting members have been appointed to the Nicholls State University Search Committee. The 9 voting members are composed of 8 board members, including our student board member, and an individual selected to represent Nicholls State faculty, in this case, Dr. David Whitney. In addition to these voting members, system policy allows for the appointment of non-voting advisory members to participate in the search process. Advisory members provide important perspectives and partake in all discussions and activities relative to the search process, but do not vote. The 8 advisory members are Nicholls Foundation Board President Chris Riviere and Riviere. We discussed that, and I was probably going to mess that up a few times, but I promise you I'm going to have it down before the end of the search. And as I call, can you just go ahead and give us a little bit about yourself and just to introduce yourself to the audience?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Again, my name is Chris Riviere. I currently serve as the president of the University Foundation, which is a 501c3 that supports a lot of the endowments and programs here at Nicholls. In my professional life, I am a lawyer. I took an economics degree here from Nicholls in 1978 and then went on to Tulane University Law School. I've been practicing in commercial litigation and maritime law for 36 years now.
Thank you, Chris, for serving. I appreciate our conversation on last week with your commitment to serve on this committee. Next, Ms. Paula Rome. Introduce yourself as well.
My name is Paula Rome. I am the board president of the Nicholls Alumni Federation. In my professional life, I have an undergraduate degree in marketing from Nicholls as well as a master's of business from Nicholls as well. I own my own marketing consulting firm, and I am also an adjunct business professor here at Nicholls.
Thank you, Ms. Rome. I appreciate your service and your commitment to the university. Missing today is Mr. Tommy Thibodeau. He's our student body president here at Nicholls University. He's had a passing of his father that we've been informed, so we just ask that everyone keep his family in prayer. He has spoken to our student rep here, Mr. Rice, and has extended his commitment to serve on this committee, but obviously, due to the circumstances, will not be here on today. But we want to make sure we keep him in prayer and thought. Mr. Kurt Schwest.
Good morning.
Yes.
Kurt Schwest. I'm a 1987 graduate of Nicholls State, finance degree. I also serve on the executive advisory board for the College of Business here at Nicholls. And born and raised in LaFouche Parish, live and work in LaFouche Parish in a family business, and looking forward to working with all of you in the process.
And thank you, Kurt. I appreciate our conversation on last week and your commitment to serve. I think you're definitely going to have some great input for the search committee as well. Bishop Fobb.
My name is Shelton Fobb. I serve as the Bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Houma Thibodeau, which is all of the Terrebonne parishes, Grand Island, Jefferson Parish, and Morgan City and St. Mary's Parish. We have 39 church parishes. We have 10 elementary schools, 3 high schools. Many of our high school graduates come here to Nicholls, so it's my delight to be able to assist in any way that I may in this service.
Thank you, Bishop Fobb. I appreciate your commitment and your enthusiasm when I reached out to you. It was unwavering. I think you said yes before I even got the conversation out, but I appreciate that. Dr. Alice Pecoraro. And I didn't bring my cheat sheet. I had broken down in phonics, actually, some of these names. I can, yeah. Yes, even me. And I thank you for your commitment and your willingness to serve. Mr. Donnie Rouse.
My name's Donnie Rouse, CEO of Rouse Markets, headquartered here in Thibodeau. I am a graduate of UL Lafayette. Excited to be on this board, the importance for the community.
And I appreciate your willingness to serve. Again, you had no hesitation whatsoever when I reached out to you about serving each of y'all, and I appreciate it because I know we're taking time out of your everyday life, even if you're retired. It's still taking time out of being retired, and we appreciate your service. Also, I want to go ahead and introduce the rest of our committee that we have here. I'm going to start with Mr. Whitney, our faculty senate president.
Yeah, I'm the Faculty Senate President here at Nicholls. This is my 7th year at Nicholls. I grew up way up north in St. Tammany Parish. My parents are from this region, though. My dad's a Nicholls alum. I love the school. I love the area. And I'm really looking forward to making sure we find the best candidate for Nicholls moving forward.
And we'll go with Mr. Ben Rice.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ben Rice. I'm the current student government president at Louisiana Tech University. I also have the honor of serving as the University of Louisiana System Student Board member this year. So this is my first time in Thibodeau, so I'm looking forward to working with all the community leaders to gain some perspective about the area. And I'm very excited to bring a little bit of a student perspective to the search these next few weeks. So thank you all very much.
I'm Mark Romero. I'm a University of Louisiana System Board member, proudly serving District 3, born and raised in Indiana, New Iberia, USL, UL graduate, and proud to be here. I think that Nicholls has a robust opportunity in front of it, and look forward to working with the committee members as we explore candidates and make the selection for the next leader for Nichols. I think we have a great opportunity.
Good morning. I'm Bo Martin, originally from Cutoff, Louisiana. Went off to Texas A&M for an engineering degree and I've come back and worked in the family business ever since. Buy a lot of groceries from Rouse's. So I represent the board in this area, and Nichols is absolutely vital to this community, and the potential for success and all the great things that have already happened here are tremendous, and we need to continue that. So I'm very excited about this opportunity.
Mr. Murphy? No, Mr. Murphy.
Sean,
Okay.
I'm Sean Murphy from Jackson Parish. I am the official redneck on our board. Glad to be here in South Louisiana. Looking forward to this opportunity to work with you guys and do great things here at Nicholls.
Ms. Pierre?
Good morning. My name is Liz Pierre, and I'm a UL System Board member. I live in Monroe, Louisiana, but I'm a native of South Louisiana, a UL, USL graduate, and I look forward to working with the rest of the leaders here to find an excellent president for Nicholls State University.
As I stated before, I'm Al Perkins. I serve as the chairman of the board for the University of Louisiana System. I am a native of Dallas, Texas, but I've lived here in Louisiana for 23 years. Graduate of Xavier University and received my law degree from Southern University Law Center. Practiced law with Hammond, Seals, Atkins, and Geis law firm. Our law firm represents 95% of the school boards in Louisiana, along with other various entities as well. I was appointed in 2016 by Governor John Bell Edwards, and I have been serving since. And I appreciate the opportunity to work with you guys. Before I introduce our chair of the search committee, we have two members that are missing. Mr. Winfred Sabille, he's not here because he's at representing the board at a regents meeting that is taking place on today. If any of you all know Mr. Sabille, for him not to be here, there's something great that has to be happening, but he will be participating. And our last committee member that is not here is Mr. James Carter. Mr. James Carter has been invited to Oxford to speak on a panel, and he will be there for a week. So he is missing this first meeting, but we definitely understand why he could not be here, and he has made a pledge to a commitment to serve on this committee. Our eighth advisory member is Dr. Jim Henderson. He's the president of the University of Louisiana System, who also serves as a search committee chair in accordance with our board rules. Many of you all have already gotten a chance to get to know Dr. Henderson. If not, you will learn that he is an extraordinary leader. He believes in listening to everyone and then still trying to work towards a common ground with everyone. And the reason why I say that, because it's very important, because we're all coming from different backgrounds and we're here to do some very important work. But we have a leader here that I have the 100% confidence in that can get us to where we're trying to go. So at this time, I would like to turn the meeting over to our committee chair, Dr. James Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Perkins. I do need to clarify one thing because we have some Ole Miss members of the committee. Supervisor Carter is at Oxford that opened in 1096 in England. He is not in Mississippi, so just to clarify that.
That is correct.
I also want to thank the search committee members for agreeing to participate in this search. The search for a president is perhaps the single most important work of the Board of Supervisors for the University of Louisiana System. Our 9 universities are led by some extraordinary leaders. I think it is a testament to the work of our board, but it's also a testament to the work of the search committees that participated in those searches. This year, we selected a new leader for Northwestern State University in Natchitoches and for McNeese State University in Lake Charles. Both leaders hit the ground running. They've both done extraordinary work in a very short amount of time. And I think that owes itself to the work of this committee. And so thank you for agreeing to this charge, and we look forward to working with you. This morning's meeting is a lot about process. And we'll go through some of this process to ensure that we're all working in exactly the same direction. The meetings after this will become much more substantive in terms of selecting precisely the right fit that will lead Nicholls for the next generation. So today, though, we'll map out a framework for the presidential search, including a charge, a tentative timeline, and a draft advertisement. Each of you has a binder in front of you, and it includes materials that will be important to discussion, but you can bring this binder with you to all subsequent meetings. The first order of business is to review the charge of the committee. So if you open your binder to tab number 2, you'll find the charge of our committee. The charge is rooted in our board rules and our policy and procedure manuals, which is found in tab 3. But the search committee is charged with recommending to the board at least 2 individuals who, in the committee's judgment, are best qualified to lead the Nicholls State University. In fulfilling its charge, the Presidential Search Committee is asked to conduct the following activities. We'll establish a procedure and a timeline. We'll engage the services of a search consultant if this committee chooses. At this point, my recommendation is that we do not hire an outside search firm. We have not done that the last 2 searches. They have been extraordinarily successful, so that is my recommendation. We'll visit the campus early in the process and obtain public input. In fact, today we'll do that at 11 o'clock. We'll screen applications. We'll check references. We'll interview the most qualified candidates, and we'll recommend at least 2 qualified candidates to the full board. When we have the open forum later this morning, we are listening to faculty. Issue and be safer that way. Anyway, back to business. We'll probably hear perspectives on the top priorities for the new president to address. So in addition to the qualifications and characteristics, we'll hear about some concerns and, more importantly, some opportunities that are facing Nicholls State. As we screen the candidates and check references, our staff will do a comprehensive background search, so the committee does not have to do that. What we want the committee to be focused on is, again, identifying those characteristics that you think will lead to fit, characteristics and qualifications. The interviewed candidates will come to this campus, be interviewed by this committee, but they'll also have time to spend with faculty, with staff, and with stakeholders and community members in individual forums with each. We'll conduct open interviews at that, and based on those interviews, we'll make our recommendation to the board. Are there any questions about the charge for this committee? Hearing none, I would ask for a motion and a second to accept the charge for the Nicholls Search Committee. Second by Mr. Romero, second by Mr. Murphy. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the motion passes. The next, on tab 4, you'll find the information related to the search process. Already done with that, so pat yourselves on the back. Next, we'll solicit feedback from the campus to help broaden our understanding of issues and important characteristics to the Chronicle of Higher Education. But we'll, together we will agree on a specific ad. We'll publish that ad. We will screen and select applicants to interview applicants on campus, and recommend those 2 names to the board. The process is very straightforward, and of course we want to be as transparent and open as possible throughout. Are there any questions or concerns regarding the process at this time? There's also an associated timeline to the process, which is found in the materials in tab 5. The next phase is waiting on applicants to respond to the advertisements and promotional phase. We'll meet afterwards to select candidates to interview, and we'll return to campus to interview semifinalists in October. The current timeline shows our board making selection at a special board meeting on November 14th. I will tell you that that is a very aggressive timeline for selections for presidents of universities. The right fit by that timeline. Finding the right fit is not negotiable. The timeline is. If we are unable to find that right fit, then we will be able as a committee to decide to extend the search period. Again, I do not anticipate that being an issue. This is a similar timeline we implemented at Northwestern State and at Nicholls State, and it worked quite well. But again, finding the right fit is sacrosanct. I need now a motion and a second to accept the process and timeline for the Nicholls. Do we have a motion? Moved by Mr. Murphy, second by Ms. Pierre. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed to the timeline? Thank you much. We have a timeline. The next item is on tab 6. It's a short discussion about the advertisement that will appear on the websites of Inside Higher Ed, Diverse Issues in Higher Education, and the Chronicle for Higher Ed is included in your binders under tab 6. You'll note that we developed the first draft specifically for this search that provides information about the job, the university, and the community. It indicates how one can apply directly to the University of Louisiana System office. We will begin publishing the ad as early as tomorrow if you approve of the current draft. The preferred date to receive completed applications for review and to select candidates for interview is October 20th. I'll give you a moment to review the ad. And then if you have any questions or comment about the ad, please, now is the time. Hearing none, we have an advertisement. Now, in order to fulfill our search responsibilities, it is important that we have a good sense and understanding of this university and its constituents. Dr. Janine Kahn, who's Assistant Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs, has developed a short presentation that will provide some excellent background information for the committee about Nicholls. At this time, I'd ask Dr. Kahn to guide us through the next part of today's program. Dr. Kahn?
Thank you, Dr. Henderson, and good morning to members of the search committee. My apologies for being tucked over to the side, but as we begin with the presentation, you can go ahead and direct your attention to one of the screens. I will provide you with some brief information about Nicholls State University that I hope will provide assistance to you throughout the search process. Just this month, Nicholls State University celebrated its 69th birthday. It was created in 1948 as Francis T. Nicholls Junior College of Louisiana State University. In 1956, it was separated from LSU and was authorized to offer baccalaureate degree programs, renamed the Francis T. Nicholls State College. The first degrees of the institution were conferred in 1958, and in 1970, Nicholls State University's official name was put into place, being named after our 28th governor of the state of Louisiana. Today, the institution offers 56 academic programs ranging from the baccalaureate level to post-baccalaureate certificates and a handful of master's degrees. The institution employs 250 full-time faculty and 358 full-time staff. Enrollment for the fall 2017 semester was capped at 6366, a slight uptick from last year, in which we are pleased to announce. Tuition and fees for the current academic year is listed at just $8,000, with out-of-state tuition at $8,900. And the institution is classified by Carnegie as a Master's of College and University Medium Programs. The budget consists of state appropriations in the amount listed here. Apologies, the clicker's going a little slow. And self-generated funds just under $42 million for a total budget of almost $57 million, with $2,800 provided per student for full-time enrollment. Of course, Nicholls is located in the beautiful Thibodaux on a campus consisting of 287 acres, approximately 50 miles south northwest of New Orleans and 60 miles southeast of Baton Rouge. It's located here in Cajun country and lies in the heart of the Mississippi River Delta along the Gulf Coast of Mexico, which with this wonderful location, Nicholls is able to offer unique programs and conduct research in fields of marine and environmental science. The university is the only four-year university servicing the Bayou region and has a wonderful connection with Fletcher Technical Community College to move those students through the pipeline from 2-year to the 4-year institution. Enrollment in the program and the institution itself has lowered but is now on the uptick over the last 2 years, and so successful recruiting has taken place here at the institution. Taking a snapshot of what that student enrollment looks like, 90% of the students are undergraduate, 77% of them are full-time. The majority of the student body is female at 65%, with males at 35%. The bulk of enrollment is 93% of in-state, with most of those being drawn from the local area, with a small 5% out-of-state and 2% international. In regards to ethnic composition, 67% of the population is white versus 20% black, 11 others, and 2 unknown. The unique thing about Nicholls is 66% of the student body is a first-generation college student. And the university has worked very hard to provide programming to assist those special students in being very successful here at the institution. In regards to the performance indicators for our current students here at Nicholls, the average ACT composite score for incoming freshmen is 21.6 in comparison to the nation's average of 21, and Louisiana's average composition of 19.5, just to give you a comparative analysis. 2,300 other students are TOPS recipients. 76% of those students transition from the freshman to the sophomore year. They had a 53% graduation rate, and last year they completed a little over 1,300 students. In regards to programs here, the most popular programs are listed here on the slide in front of you. The nursing program last year graduated 106 students. Nicholls produces 80% of the region's nurses. Business Administration and Management is another very popular degree program, as is interdisciplinary studies, accounting, and culinary arts. Culinary arts is of course associated with the Chef John Foles Culinary Institute, and it's the only institute, and Nicholls is the only institution that offers a baccalaureate degree in culinary in the state of Louisiana. This is also a wonderful, wonderful example of public-private partnership that has taken place here at Nicholls State University. Listed in front of you are some wonderful accolades and facts about the institution. Because of the distinct location of Nicholls here in the region, it has spearheaded many efforts and initiatives towards coastal restoration. Nicholls offers the only maritime management concentration in the state. And Nicholls is home to the Louisiana Center for Dyslexia and Related Learning Disorders, which is the state's designated site providing services to those students with dyslexia and other learning disabilities. The program provides those individuals with either autism or other associated disabilities to transition through the collegiate experience. Information about student life here at Nicholls: there are over 100 registered student organizations that a student can participate in, ranging from Greek life to business and other types of academic-related organizations. There are 14 Division I sports, and opportunities for students to live here on student housing, in 7 modern residential halls. Various campus dining information that they can take advantage of. Of course, we have the student union that we're located in here today that provides meeting spaces, a food court, and other amenities. And then they have the Harold J. Calais Memorial Recreation Center, which is a 6,000 square foot facility that provides health and wellness opportunities for the students. I'm going to show you a brief video to summarize a little bit about Nicholls and its unique opportunities that it provides to our region and to our students. Dr. Henderson, that concludes the informative portion on the agenda.
Thank you, Dr. Khan, for that context. To give our search committee and those in the audience a little bit broader context, in Louisiana over the last decade, we have seen the largest disinvestment of state resources to higher education in the nation. You saw the difference in the self-generated revenues for Nicholls State and the state-provided resources at Nicholls State. We have seen that ratio completely flip in the last 10 years, where 10 years ago about 70% of the resources came from the state. Now 75% of the resources come from students. That's not completely unhealthy. It puts a burden on students, but it also puts a burden on institutions to find innovative ways to deliver a product of quality, to meet the needs of students in a competitive environment, and it also puts us more in control of our own destiny. It is dependent upon growth, but not growth for the sake of growth, but smart growth. Growth in programs that are regional, that are relevant to this regional economy, that are relevant to the needs and wants and desires of students, and effective leadership, collaborative leadership that engages the entire body of faculty in developing a portfolio of programs that are interesting to students and attractive to business and industry is absolutely paramount. Those are some things that I think we need to consider as we search for the next president at Nicholls State. In August, the 9 presidents of our universities came together in Baton Rouge for a day-and-a-half retreat, and we developed the first strategic framework for the University of Louisiana system. It's not a strategic plan, not in the traditional sense. It's a list of 6 aspirations that all 9 of our universities have agreed to in order for us to advance the work of the state. Over the last 9 months, I have had the blessing to spend a lot of time in at Nicholls and in the city of Thibodaux, and I understand the potential of this institution. It has a rich history, no doubt, but its future is even brighter. Its importance to this regional economy is without question. Its attractiveness to students is unparalleled in many regards. It has the potential to be a dynamic, growing, leading regional university, not just for Louisiana, not for the South, but for the entire nation. That's a pretty audacious statement, but I think it's one that rings true. The faculty, and I've had great pleasure of getting to know the Faculty Senate President, Dr. Whitney. He is a wonderfully thoughtful Faculty Senate President, and I think that he reflects this very diverse faculty as a whole. And so, Dr. Whitney, we greatly appreciate your presence on the committee. That should give you some context through which we can understand the comments that we will receive in open forum at 11 o'clock. We hope that we have a great turnout at 11. We have a few minutes before that, and so if we have no other business before this committee right now, we will adjourn from this official meeting. We have some refreshments if you'd like to take a quick break at 11 o'clock, and we did this so that we would have a time certain for the community members to come into the ballroom. We will have a very, I hope, robust listening session with various stakeholders. So with that, if there's no other business to come before this committee, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. And if not, we'll just stay here for the rest of the day. So moved by Mr. Martin, seconded by Mr. Murphy. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Okay, we are adjourned and we'll reconvene at 11 o'clock for the public forum. Thank you.
Mic test, 1, 2. Mic test. Mic test. Mic test, 1, 2.
I lived in Napoleonville when I was here, and then when I retired, I moved closer to my work, and I can now see Nicholls from my front porch. I saw Paul. What's he doing? Tell him I asked about him. It's probably been 2 months. He's involved in something.
He told me he was slowing down and they offered him to be.
Yeah, that's not slowing down.
From his trial practice.
Yeah, it might be from his practice.
Probably going to get static again. I hope not, but it wasn't clipping out here. Check 1 2, check 1 2, check 1 2, check 1 2.
Same to you, Bishop. I know you have so much time in your schedule.
Always more water.
Check 1 2, 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 check 1 2. Sorry, I'm probably annoying everybody with my checks. Check 1 2, check 1 2.
new president of Nicholls State University. My name is Al Perkins. I'm the chairman of the board of supervisors for the University of Louisiana system. As a courtesy to everyone, I ask that you turn off your cell phones or any other devices that may make any noise during the town hall meeting. At this time, I would like to ask that Ms. Calais please give us a roll call.
Dr. Henderson,
Here.
Mr. Carter, Mr. Martin,
Here.
Mr. Murphy,
Here.
Mr. Perkins,
Here.
Ms. Pierre,
Here.
Mr. Rice,
Here.
Mr. Romero,
Here.
Mr. Seville, Dr. Whitney,
Here.
Mr. Shuez,
Here.
Bishop Fobb, Dr. Pecoraro,
Here.
Mr. Riviere, Ms. Rome,
Here.
Mr. Rouse, Mr. Thibodeau. We have a quorum.
Thank you, Erica. Our board rules define a framework of appointing members to our search committee, and using that 9 voting and 8 non-voting members have been appointed to the Nicholls State Search Committee. The 9 voting members are composed of 8 board members, including our student board member, and an individual selected to represent Nicholls faculty, in this case, Dr. David Whitney. In addition to these voting members, system policy allows for the appointment of a non-voting advisory members to participate in the search process. Advisory members provide important perspectives and partake in all discussions and activities related to the search process, but do not vote. The 8 advisory members are the following: Nicholls Foundation Board President Chris Riviere.
You get close.
I'm getting close. I'm getting close. You don't know how many people I asked in between here to make sure that I had it correct. But we're working on it. Thank you. Nicholls Alumni Association President Paula Rome, Ms. Paula Rome. Nicholls Student Government Association President Mr. Tommy Thibodeau, who is not here on today. We acknowledged that during our first meeting that he had a passing of his father. So we ask that everyone please keep him and his family lifted up in prayer. Community Representative Kurt Swest. Community Representative Bishop Shelton Fobb. Community Representative Dr. Alice Pecoraro. Am I close?
Yes.
Okay. Community Representative Mr. Donnie Rouse. Our 8th advisory member is Dr. James Henderson, President of the University of Louisiana System, who also serves as the Search Committee Chair in accordance with our board rules. At this time, I would like the committee members to introduce themselves, starting with Mr. Chris Riviere, to my far left.
Good morning, thank you. My name is Chris Riviere. I serve as the president of the Nicholls State University Foundation. We're a 501 that manages endowed monies for the benefit of a lot of its worthy projects, professorships and scholarships. In my private life, I am a 1978 graduate of Nicholls State University, having a degree in economics. And then I went on to Tulane Law School and have been practicing in the realm of commercial litigation. Look forward to working with this community.
Thank you, Mr. Riviere. Next, Bishop Fobb.
My name is Bishop Shelton Fobb. I serve as the Bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Houma-Thibodeau, which encompasses all of Terrebonne and Lafourche parishes, Grand Isle and Jefferson Parish, and Morgan City and St. Mary's Parish. We have 39 church parishes, 10 elementary schools, 3 high schools. Many of our high school graduates come here to Nicholls. And I think that Nicholls is very important for the common good of this area. So it's my delight to serve here and to offer whatever I'm able to offer. Thank you very much.
Alice Pecoraro. Have undergraduate and master's degrees from Nicholls, PhD from LSU. Spent 25 wonderful years here, faculty and administration. Am retired, very busy, active now in Lafayette. I consider this a very serious responsibility and task. I look forward to working with this group to put forth the best 2 candidates that we can find.
Dr. Whitney?
David Whitney. I'm the Faculty Senate President, Associate Professor of Political Science. This is my 7th year at Nicholls, as I mentioned earlier. I'm from way up north, St. Tammany Parish. So I am a Louisiana guy, born and raised. I love this area. I love this university, and I'm looking forward to finding the best candidate to move us forward.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Benjamin Rice. I'm the Student Government President at Louisiana Tech University up in Ruston. I also serve as this year's student board member on the University of Louisiana System's Board of Supervisors. This is my first time to Thibodaux, so I'm looking forward to working with all of you in the community, the community leaders up here, as well as the students. It's my job to bring a little bit of student perspective to the board, so I look forward to working with Tommy and the rest of the students in this room. Please introduce yourselves to me after this. I'd love to chat with you, so thank you all.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mark Romero. I'm a University of Louisiana System board member. Serve this particular area and support the interests of Nicholls State. I think Nicholls is a vital part of our region. The state of Louisiana is certainly a very integral institution for our system. We're proud to serve here. I'm originally from Liberia, and proud to serve again and support the selection of the next leader for Nicholls State.
Again, I'm Al Perkins. I'm the chairman of the board for the University of Louisiana System. I'm a native of Dallas, Texas, but I've lived here in Louisiana for 23 years. For 12 years, I lived not too far from here in Paulina, Louisiana, which is right there in St. James Parish between Convent and Gramercy-Lutcher area. I'm an attorney by trade. I'm a partner at Hammond, Sales, Atkins, and Geis. We represent about 95% of the school boards here in Louisiana. I look forward to serving on this committee, but more importantly, I look forward to giving you guys an opportunity to hear the feedback you have and move forward with getting a leader here that will connect with the community, connect with the faculty, connect with the students, and help move this university forward. This university serves a major role in what we do as a system, but more importantly, what we do here as the state of Louisiana. So I look forward to working with each of you all.
Good morning. I'm Bo Martin, board member from Cutoff, Louisiana. I've been on the board for 6 years now, and looking forward to having a very good search and finding a great leader. I think it really comes down to leadership, and we want to take the university and give all the assets it needs to move forward and be great.
I'm Sean Murphy. I'm from Jackson Parish. I serve the 5th Congressional District, and just tickled to be here and look forward to making sure that we get a great leader for this wonderful university. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Liz Pierre, and I also serve the 5th Congressional District. I live in Monroe, Louisiana. I'm an attorney by training, a graduate of UL Lafayette at USL and Southern University Law Center. I also work full-time in economic development with North Louisiana Economic Partnership, and I look forward to working with this committee to find a great leader for Nicholls State University.
Good morning. Kurt West, 1987 graduate of Nicholls State with a degree in finance. I also serve on the Executive Advisory Board for the College of Business here at Nicholls. Live and work in Lafourche Parish all my life, and looking forward to not only working with the board, but also getting some positive input from the students, the faculty, the administration here, as well as the community to help us with our search. We need you all as partners to accomplish this task, so please keep that in mind.
Hello, my name is Paula Rome. I am the Alumni Federation Board President. In my professional life, I own PR Consultants, my own marketing consulting firm. I also am very happy to be an adjunct business professor here at Nicholls. Very honored to be on this committee, not only as an alumni and as an instructor here, but I also have a daughter starting here in the fall, so this means a lot to me, to find the right leader for our university.
Good morning. My name is Donnie Rouse. I am the CEO of Rouse's Markets. I am honored and excited to be on this search committee. This is extremely important for our school and our town, and everyone up here we'll do the best that we can do for the university.
Thank each of you all for your service and commitment to this committee. At this point, I will turn over the meeting to our committee chair, Dr. Jim Henderson. Dr. Jim Henderson serves as the president of the Louisiana system. Dr. Henderson started in December of last year in 2016, and during this short amount of time, I think this is his third search that he has led. That is not a bad thing. That is a good thing, because the last two searches, which were at McNeese and at Northwestern State University, were very successful. Dr. Henderson has a spirit of trying to listen and of trying to find common ground that everybody can work with, and trying to find the ultimate goal, which is finding a good leader for the university and someone who can work within the system. Our board has great faith in Dr. Henderson's abilities, and we take great consideration to his thoughts and his points of views that he brings to the committee in far as leadership and direction. So, not saying anything else, I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Jim Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Perkins. And I have to tell you that I'm a graduate of Northwestern State, but over the last 9 months, I have gained a new familiarity, a new appreciation, and a new love for Nicholls State University. As much for the history of the school, the work that's done by its faculty and its staff. Its students are a wonderful mix of cultures that are a lot of fun to get to hang out with. Tommy is a great representative of you. But I'm also enamored of the potential for this university. The future of Nicholls State is bright. It's very bright. Its potential is limitless, and I look forward to working with this committee and selecting the president that will help you realize that potential. So our board rules stipulate that we hold a public forum as part of our search process. So we're here today to listen to faculty, to students, to staff, to alumni, and to community members. Your input is absolutely vital in helping us select the next president of Nicholls State University. In particular, we're interested in learning what qualifications are essential in the next president if he or she is to succeed in that role. As well, the committee is excited to hear about perspectives on the top priorities for the new president to address. Today's meeting is not intended to be a dialogue. We're here to listen and to learn from you. So, nor is today's meeting intended to be a session to promote a particular individual for this position. At a previous forum, gentleman, I'm grateful that he told me ahead of time what his comments were going to be, and they were going to be, the only way this university can succeed is if you pick this person to be president. I encouraged him to modify his remarks to be a little bit more conclusive, and he complied. This is going to be a very open and transparent process. We have a number of potential candidates that have already expressed interest, and as the official advertisement for this position hits starting tomorrow, I think you will see a large number of qualified applicants from many different backgrounds, many different perspectives, and we want to ensure that this process uncovers the one that will be the next president for Nicholls State. Your comments will be helpful throughout the search. You're not limited to today. So we, especially as we interview candidates, we expect a great deal of feedback from you. It is so important. Your comments will be recorded today and posted on YouTube and linked to our website where applicants, nominees, and other interested parties can access these observations. As well, we encourage all of you to visit the University of Louisiana System website for information and the latest updates about the presidential search process. Everything will be open and transparent and available for you there. For those of you who would like to submit a written comment to the search committee, you will find an email link to do so. Now, at the meeting earlier today, the committee accepted its charge, adopted a process, and approved a tentative timeline. The charge was accepted, that was accepted was to recommend at least 2 names for consideration to the full Board of Supervisors for the University of Louisiana System. With those 2 or more names in hand, the Board of Supervisors will then conduct final interviews and select the next president of Nicholls State. Our process is relatively simple and one that we have employed in several presidential search initiatives. It involves soliciting feedback from the campus to help broaden our understanding of issues and important characteristics in a successful president. That's what today is about. We'll develop an ad that has been approved and is already being placed in various publications. We'll do the screening and selecting of applicants to interview. We'll interview applicants on this campus, and we'll recommend at least 2 names to the board. The tentative timeline associated with these activities include a date for best consideration. The letters of interest in the position and resumes should be provided by October 20th. On October 25th in Baton Rouge, the search committee will review applicants and determine a pool of semifinalists to interview. Those interviews will be conducted on campus in late October and will be open to the public. Shortly following the interviews, the committee will select at least 2 names to be forwarded to the board. The board will then interview finalists and select your next president at a special board meeting in November. That timeline is aggressive. It is intentionally so. This search process is very purposeful from its very design. We want someone that wants to be the next president at Nicholls State. And we want someone who is the fit to be the next president of Nicholls State. Those 2 things are non-negotiable. The timeline is, if within this timeline, though I'm confident we'll be successful, we are unsuccessful in finding that right fit, we will extend the timeline. The timeline is process. The outcome is finding the president who will lead Nicholls State forward. So I hope that's very clear. One other item that I did want to address, because it came to me in an email, that some may be concerned with providing feedback or comments in an open forum. I want you to know 2 things. One, we have other avenues through which you can express your concerns, your comments, give us direction for going forward. But 2, and perhaps more importantly, an open dialogue is essential to this process. This process cannot be successful if you do not feel comfortable speaking to this group. And so I want, if you have any inhibitions about that are beyond just the typical fear of public speaking, please let those aside. And this is a safe place for very open conversation. And so with that, I will turn this over to our Vice President and Provost, Dr. Khan.
Thank you, Dr. Henderson. Good morning to those in the audience. Thank you for taking time out of your day to participate in such a very important endeavor. We have a very simple process that we will use to engage today's audience in order to gather more information regarding important qualifications or priorities that you see important for selecting the next president of Nicholls State University. Individuals who wish to address the committee should complete a public comment card. You can put them up in the back. If you would like one and haven't filled one out, simply raise your hand and a staff member or student ambassador will provide one to you. And hand them in to also that person that's distributing them. They'll bring them up to me and I will shortly call your name. One at a time, as mentioned, I will ask those that have filled out a comment card to come forward. And so I ask that you, when that is your time, come front to one of the microphones at the front of the room. Speakers will have 2 minutes to express their views. With 30 seconds remaining, I will hold up the yellow card to indicate that you have 30 seconds left, and I ask that at that time you summarize your comments and finalize them with the 30 seconds remaining. When that time is up, a red card will be indicated to ask that you finish up your comments. We ask that you be respectful of the time limitations. Again, only those who have completed cards will be asked to come forward to speak. You are invited at any time to ask for a card, and it will be brought up to the room so you can also be involved in the comment section today. So we'll go ahead and begin. May I ask Mike Davis to come to the front of the room? Good morning, Mr. Davis.
There's no pressure in being first, so just.
Good morning. I wish it was for the lottery ticket, but unfortunately, I get the first. My name is Mike Davis. I'm a graduate of Nicholls State University, a former employee here with about 30 years of experience. I'm a member of the Alumni Federation, and I continue to stay in touch with the university as a PA announcer at football and baseball games. Nicholls has been my love, and I've been dedicated to Nicholls my entire life. I'm not here to talk to you all, obviously, about the overall credentials, the academic credentials, and the leadership skills or the management skills. No, let me back up. I'm not here to talk to you all about the academic requirements. That's something that's your preview, and you will know what to do. I want to talk to you about things that I want to look for in the new president beyond that. I served 3 different presidents over here, 3 different management styles. None were perfect. Obviously, I have what I feel was the best one and ranking one down, but I'm not here to talk about that. I want to talk about what's important over here. The next president has to understand that he wants to be here at Nicholls State University, not because he wants to be a president somewhere, but because he wants to be here at Nicholls State University. That president also has to understand that he is not the face of Nicholls State University. The face of Nicholls State University is the faculty, its staff, and its students who have been dedicated all this time. They need to be respected, and they need to be able to have some input into what's going on. We've had different styles here. I prefer a management style that trusts the employees, that engages those employees and uses the ideas and the expertise of those individuals in those positions and implements that. A president that doesn't pay attention to his staff and his faculty is a president that's going to fail. And I sincerely believe that. My words today are not going to affect me. I'm retired, and I know few people will be happy I'm not coming back. But I do care about my colleagues here. They are good people. They are good, dedicated, hard people. When you trust them and you give them the input, this university can continue to move forward. So I ask that you look for someone who has the courage and the belief that it's not all about them. It's about the faculty and it's about the staff. And trust those individuals. Some of our best years here were the years when our good people were used and utilized. I hope I've conveyed what I needed to do. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Donovan Freeman. Apologies. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Donovan Freeman. I'm a resident of Thibodaux, Louisiana. I attended Nicholls State University from 1988 to 1992. I know how much this decision means to this community and to the university and the students. I appreciate you having this forum to hear out everybody in this community. One of the things that I've done over the past 20-plus years is I've had to attend Baton Rouge to lobby for my business and my industry. And over the years, I've seen presence of Dr. Ayo and his administration quite a bit in Baton Rouge. And over the years, the past previous administrations, I've seen that presence diminish. And one of the things I want to make a point is there was a report that came out that I believe, in my mind, has been the most damaging thing to this university is the report that said that Nicholls would close one day a week to help save the state money. You know, I think the legislatures in this state, they have a short list of who to cut first. And if they have to make the hard decision on what schools are they going to close first, Nicholls was never on the top of that list. I think it is now because of that report. I think that it is imperative that this committee give high grades to a president who either has local representation in Baton Rouge, that has a presence there. If we cannot find someone that is from this state that has those relationships, we need to make sure that if whoever you decide makes that a priority, because I think that the reputation for this university is imperative to be rebuilt back up by the next administration in Baton Rouge. Thank you so much.
Good morning. Thanks for hearing us this morning. I'm not a graduate of Nicholls, but I've been blessed to be a part of the Nicholls family for the last 21 years. And I don't want to address necessarily the candidates that are coming in that you'll be evaluating, but the process itself and the board members, things to consider. I'd like to start with a little bit of demographics. The current administration, president, chief of staff, provost, VPAA, associate VPAA, assistant VPAA, VPSA, VPFA, recently resigned VP UA, are all white men. That's the demographics at Nicholls State, and that's what people see when they see Nicholls State. In the 60-year history of Nicholls, only 4 women have sat in PCOLA as vice presidents. I'd like to read a quote by Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Supreme Court Justice. I think unconscious bias is one of the hardest things to get at. My favorite example is a symphony orchestra. When I was growing up, there were no women in orchestras. Auditioners thought they could tell the difference between men and women playing. Some intelligent person devised a simple solution. Drop a curtain between the auditioners and the people trying out. And lo and behold, women began to get jobs in symphony orchestras. So I acknowledge and I know that you will look for the best candidate for Nicholls, and that's what we all want, regardless of who that person is or what they look like. But I just want everyone to remember that we all see the world through our own filter of privilege and status and life experience. And I encourage you and request that you reflect on that in your process in looking for the next candidate and evaluating that next candidate and selecting that next candidate for us. And if, of course, the next candidate is a white male, just please make sure that he understands and acknowledges and shares his own privilege and status and life experience in a manner that will make our administration, as well as the campus as a whole, as diverse and inclusive as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cruz.
Thank you, Dr. Caruso. Mia Davis, will you please come forward?
You can fold it down, Mia. That's okay. Just tilt the mic down. There you go.
Hi, my name is Mia Davis. I am a current student at Nicholls State University with a major of allied health. And my comment today will be very short and sweet, and I would like to comment not on the properties that the president needs to have and not necessarily on the process that needs to happen, but more about another important feature, which is the actual committee that gets the right to choose the president that heads over Nicholls State University. And personally, as a current student of Nicholls State, it's a bit off-putting to me that there is a minority of actual Nicholls State workers who are on the committee instead of a majority of Nicholls State workers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mia. Next, Peyton Chasson. Peyton, would you please come forward?
Welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and the rest of the committee. I want to welcome you all again to our university and hope you enjoy your time here. My name is Peyton Schuss. I'm a third-term executive board member for Student Government Association. I've been serving as director of student rights and grievances for those last 3 years. The rest of the e-board got together, our 5 e-board members, and we kind of came up with a short list of 10 qualifications that we would like to see in the next president. And on behalf of our President Thibodeau, I wanted to come read these out to y'all. Also, we did forward that email to Ms. Erica. I think Tommy is doing that at this moment, so you'll have this. 10 quick short points here. Looking for someone truly concerned about the students' wants and needs, who's passionate about Colonel Pride and our Thibodeau culture, who is interested in change and in growth, invested in building and growing a stronger faculty, innovative and forward-thinking, who is concerned about donor relations and community outreach, who is a strong situational leader, who is personable and open with communication with all stakeholders of our university, who has experience in higher education, particularly experience in university growth, and who is interested in the academic success and future careers of our student body. Thank you all for having us, and we're looking forward to our next president. Thank you.
Joel Valentine, would you please come forward?
Hi, I'm Joel Valentine. I'm a student of Nicholls State and a student of the Culinary Institute. I'd like to express concern for Nicholls student voting representation. Board members have expressed care and concern for the needs and wants of the students, but the current UL board policy is not conducive for adequate voting representation. Giving more voting representation to the student body will show that the needs and wants and the opinions of the students matter. Thank you.
At this time, I have 3 additional comment cards. Again, I invite you to fill out a comment card if you'd like to go over those that have spoken before. Just raise your hand and someone will collect it from you. Next, Sherry Lawrence. Ms. Lawrence?
Good morning. I'm Sherry Lawrence. I'm a finance professor here at the College of Business, and I've been here for 12 years. I'm also a faculty senator, and I just wanted to speak generally about some suggested priorities that I think the committee should keep in mind during the search. As a general priority, I think we need a president who can really connect with the community in terms of community involvement and fundraising. And then as a specific priority, it's very important to the university and the individual colleges to maintain their current accreditation status. Here at the university, we have SACS accreditation. That's very important that we maintain that. And in the College of Business, we also have AACSB accreditation for the College of Business in general, and a separate AACSB accreditation for accounting. That's one of our top priorities, to maintain that level of accreditation. And then finally, I know the faculty would like to have a president who will seek to boost faculty salaries to be more commensurate with our region and with our comparable institutions, so that we can recruit and retain the best and the brightest people here at Nicholls. Thank you.
Thank you. Larry Howell, would like to hear a comment from you, please?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. I'm Larry Howell. I am a first-generation graduate of Nicholls State back in '72. After going away to grad school and 1 year at McNeese, I came back here, 39 years. Taught for about 20 of those, and then moved on into staff. And I retired 3 years ago as executive vice president. I served approximately 6 months as the interim president between Dr. Hulbert and Dr. Murphy. 6 months later, I chose to retire. I have a, I haven't heard this one thing. I have a little concern, not a major concern, because it all obviously depends on the quality of the candidates that will apply. But I do have somewhat of a concern on trying to the timeline of having somebody picked in about 6 weeks in that neighborhood. I think we deserve the best candidate. I do want to say the choices for the non-voting members of this committee is outstanding. They represent Nicholls. They represent former employees. They represent alum. They represent the community. They represent us. They represent the foundation. That's all that makes Nicholls. We do have a faculty senate president. We have our student president, student government president. So we do have representation. I know the rules say that only two of those actually have a vote. A student from Tech, which is a great school, by the way. But I just want us to get the person that can work with the faculty, with the staff, with the students, and really, really with the community. Our community support has dwindled. It really has, and I get that. But I do think that if we can build up the process of getting more input from the community, with input becomes support, with support becomes growth, and we need to, start marketing this university. We've got some dang unique programs, culinary, I saw it was the only four-year bachelor's degree in culinary in the state. It was the first public in the nation. We have approximately 300 majors, which is what we had 5 years ago. There's no reason why, with some funding to go out and recruit students for culinary, I mean, where else in South Louisiana? For maritime management, for nursing, for all of our really top-notch programs, petroleum services, geomatics, the only one in the state rated third in the country. But it has lost half of its students, primarily because it's not out there that we're even here. People, and I was one of them at one time, had to look up what geomatics was, you know, because they changed it from, you know, from what we used to do with land surveying. Of course, they now do it with the satellites. But I just want you to really concentrate on someone that's a good fit. I was born and raised in Paris, Illinois. But after the service, I used the GI Bill to come to Nicholls State because we had a computer science program. First undergraduate in the state. You know, that's the kind of thing that we need to put out there. You know, it's great to have all of the people from this region, but I think the more we have, what, 5%, I think I just saw, 5% out of state. The more people we bring in from out of state, the more people that come from out of state. And they bring in their tuition dollars. They're not on TOPS, which they have been taking the funding from the schools to cover the increases in TOPS. Oh, well, you're getting that back. No, Daddy can now buy a boat. You know, so I do have my opinions, but I appreciate that we're going through this process, and I just hope we get the person that is a really good fit, that the community and the students and the faculty and the staff can relate to, and that person, man or woman, can lead us in the right direction. Thank you very much.
Debbie Benoit.
Good morning, committee members, and thank you for this forum today. I appreciate you being here and allowing us to share our thoughts on what the next president should be like. I am the Director of Research here at Nicholls State University. In case you don't know what that exactly means, I help faculty in their research areas to obtain external funding for their research. Many people think that the Nicholls is only a teaching institution, but we do research. A lot of our faculty are engaged in important regional research, which affects this area. We are the only university in the closest proximity to the Gulf of Mexico. And so our research impacts that. The coastal research that we do, the geomatics that Mr. Howell just talked about, they fly UAVs across the coast. We're the only ones in the state that has the FAA regulation to be able to do that. We do coastal restoration. We study water quality. There's just so much that goes on with our faculty that the community and the state doesn't realize. And we each year compete with other universities across the state for the Board of Regents LEQSF grant funding. And I have heard, I mean, I know because I'm in this office, but I've heard compliments from the Board of Regents about how our faculty can write grants that compete right up at the top. They rank order these proposals, and our proposals are right number 1, number 2, number 5. They're high up there with the other major institutions in our state. So I'm very proud of that, and I'd like to see a new president be one that understands that we also are engaged significantly in research, and that research also brings in significant dollars in indirect costs that are like revenue to this institution. So I would like to see someone that, that knows this and supports the efforts of our research for our faculty. Thank you.
Scott Danville.
Thank you, board members, for coming. My name is Dr. Scott Banville. I'm an associate professor in the Department of Languages and Literature. I also direct the first-year writing program here at Nicholls and serve on the Faculty Senate. And I think from hearing what a lot of folks said, I agree with a lot of those ideas. But I think one of the most important things for our next president is they need to be an effective communicator. Just not a public communicator to the community, but to the faculty and staff and students. And use that communication, that leadership is communication, that folks can't implement policies if they don't know what the policies are, if they don't know what the responsibilities in the chain of command are. So I would urge you to, as part of your evaluation of all of the candidates, to think about the importance of them as a communicator, just not someone who can stand up and give a speech, but can communicate in a board meeting, through email, and know when the president or other leadership needs to be out front on an issue, and not just assume that people at a meeting are going to be able to communicate that to their folks or to their constituency. So thank you.
This is the last public comment card that I have. If you still might want to share your comments, please do grab a card. Otherwise, I'll call up Nikki Boudreaux, please.
Good morning. I'd like to thank you for giving us the opportunity to have this open dialogue with you, the committee. I've been a member of the Nicholls faculty for 17 years now. I'm also a graduate of Nicholls State University. My husband has 2 degrees from Nicholls. We live, work, and educate our children in Lafourche Parish. So we are strongly invested in this university and its success going forward. I so appreciate the fact that you have made it known that this process is to be transparent and giving us an opportunity for open dialogue. And I'd like to see the committee establish that as a priority with our next president, that a university president should also operate in a spirit of transparency, especially in a public state institution, giving its constituents an opportunity to be participative in decision-making, to have an opportunity to give our ideas, our suggestions, especially in the areas in which we are experts. I think that it does a great deal to improve faculty morale, to improve the morale of students when we have an opportunity to be a part of decision-making. I teach public relations here on this campus, and when we teach internal communication, we teach that in order for internal communication to be successful, you have to give ownership to the people within your organization. And I think many of us here at Nicholls, we've been a part of this campus for many years. I'd like to see us have the opportunity to express and experience that ownership in decision-making going forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I have one additional card, Ben Harang.
Good morning to Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Welcome to Thibodaux. My relationship with Nicholls goes back to when I was a freshman here in 1976, where I met my wife. I'm passionate about Thibodaux and the university that's here in Nicholls. I'm born and raised in Thibodaux. I decided to raise my family here. My wife and I both have degrees from here. The academic part, I can leave to you because I don't have anything to add to that. That's what y'all do. The thing that I think the next president at Nicholls needs to be able to do
is bring in the Bayou region as a partner with the university. I refer to the wall that is on Audubon Avenue, which is a street for you that are not familiar with Thibodaux, is a street between Nicholls and Thibodaux. There's a imaginary wall that both sides are scared to cross. And shame on Nicholls and shame on Thibodaux for allowing that to happen. If the next president can come in and tear that wall down, we can hit a home run. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harang. Dr. Henderson, we have no additional comment cards, so this concludes that portion. Okay, I have one more. Since you're going to be faster than the cards, I'm just go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Drew Bergeron. I'm a 2012 Nicholls alumnus, and I'm actually a third-generation colonel. My roots here go back a long time. And what I've noticed in recent years, I think the next president needs to address is alumni. I know so many alumni of Nicholls who love the Bayou region, but the first actions taken after they graduate is they can't find work. So they pack up and leave and move to another state, and they eventually find work there. I think the next president needs to work on alumni engagement, not only job placement for alumni, but putting out tons of resources to make sure all of our alumni of this college get engaged and stay involved in the university. Now, I think we've made some strides on that right now, but I think a big challenge that I hear from many alumni is job placement. They kind of feel left out. They go to school here and they graduate and they feel kind of that's it. And the university doesn't have many resources for them. So I would just like to see the next president put the alumni as a top priority. And I think if they could build that up, that'd be really, really great for this college, not only to build up the college, but to get the reputation up, build, as far as recruiting new students, maybe in other places who not want to come here. But I just want to put that along as far as alumni engagement goes, maybe as far as job placement, connections for many alumni. Thank you so much.
Are there any additional comment cards? With that, Dr. Henderson, this concludes the comment section for the afternoon.
Thank you, Dr. Khan, and thank you to everyone who attended today's session, the community members, the alumni, the faculty, the staff, and the students. You have represented the university family admirably, and we greatly appreciate your feedback. It was it echoed a lot of what our intuition tells us would be issues, but you reconfirmed it, you amplified it, and we greatly appreciate that. I know your time is valuable, and some of you may have had more attractive activities to participate in this morning, but we appreciate you making this your priority. You chose to share your thoughts with this committee because you care about the future of Nicholls State University, as do we. And you understand the connectivity between Nicholls State University, the city of Thibodaux, and the entire Bayou region. As was the case with other presidential searches our board has conducted, we gained some very valuable insights today, and the information you shared will help us shape our future considerations. We want a leader to take Nicholls State University to the next level. We want a leader to help, with collaboration with the faculty and staff, establish what excellence at Nicholls State University means, and to deliver that for our students. I'm very confident that this process will select such a leader, and your continued participation will ensure that that's the case. We look forward to continuing our dialogue with you and selecting an exceptional president for this great university. We will need a motion from our committee and a second to adjourn. Do we have a motion? Mr. Murphy, seconded by Mr. Perkins. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Is there any opposed? Hearing that, we are adjourned. Thank you all very, very much.